over time. Even though it hasn't gone over I haven't gotten over it right now. It will go away eventually. Now the aches and pains right now have gone away. It's been at least 4 to 5 days since I've taken any pain relieving medication, and I haven't had any more aches and pains. I've been able to sleep good. I was able to go back to work on the 13th of this month on January. I've had to Now I had some days that I had put in for some vacation off before ahead of time, and which have helped me. You might want to consider taking off a few extra weeks even after your quarantine so you can recuperate some more, so you can continue to recuperate. And whenever you're going on light duty and all that, try not to overexert yourself by doing like extreme heavy lifting or so. Make sure you take advantage in getting help from people, like say if you're lifting boxes or trying to pull pallets out to the sales floor with a regular pallet jack, or just anything that's overexerting. Make sure you have some help during it. Now, after you've gotten back to work, you would have already finished taking your meds or your steroids during this time. And yeah, the now the now what the steroids are for, they are to be used. They are used to help or to keep you from getting. Basically, the steroids are to keep you from getting a second infection to come up in your lungs. Now, after your quarantine's over and you've gotten over the virus, you will have antibodies that will be left behind because your body fought off this fought off this. Now, the antibodies will last for about 90 days. Yes, that's what the doctor said. The anti the antibodies in your body will last for you about 90 days until, and then after the 90 days are over, then you'll eventually qualify to get the vaccine. Yes, there is a vaccine, even though some people don't want to believe it. Now there hasn't been too much information released on the vaccine, which from what I know, there are companies. Most of the companies right now are do 2 doses. There is one company called Johnson and Johnson that only does a 1 dose, but unfortunately it is not available to the U.S. right now. But all the other companies require 2 doses. The first dose, you'll be going. They'll have side effects. Most of the side effects are aches and pains and such, the same ones that you went through when you had COVID, when you had the COVID-19 virus. That's what normally it is. Now the vaccine itself, what it is, it's not like what most people think. Like say the flu shot, for example, the flu shot is the flu virus itself, which is in a weakened state, and where after you've taken that shot, your body will fight off the weakened state virus itself, and then kill it, and then you'll have the antibodies from that virus, or from the virus, that will make you immune for that year or so, depending on if you take it or not. Now, most people's immune systems is different and such, but you have to realize too, even after you've taken the first dose of the vaccine, you'll go through similar side effects like what most people have gone through during when they had the COVID-19 virus. Now, you do have to realize too that the first dose of the vaccine, most people, if you there are stuff in there that some people are allergic to, like food allergies, or there's chemicals in there that they're allergic to, but that's very rare, very rare. You have to realize that it's very rare. Now, I will admit, I have read online of some people talking negative about it, and then some people have talked positive about it. Now, do not fear the virus. Okay. Now, most people are getting scared even of taking the vaccine because they don't know what the side effects will be for them. Now, the side effects for it is different for each person, like how the virus was different for each person, and it left different things behind for each person. Now, um, in some cases, where what will be left behind by the virus, in some cases, I've heard some people get left with pneumo, pneumonia, where after you come down with that, they call it post-COVID pneumonia, where in cases even after you've gotten over the virus, and you're negative, and your system doesn't have any virus, doesn't have the COVID, or have that infection in you, you'll still have pneumonia left over, which they call that post-COVID pneumonia. Post-COVID, it's the pneumonia that was left behind after the virus had gotten out of your system. Now, that's what it had left behind for some people. Now, in some cases, there's also been where it would leave. For some people, it would also leave behind aches and pains, like it did me, a cough. But that's just the minor things. Some people would not get anything left behind. Other people would also come down with some cases of, say, would probably get sick from bronchitis. Now, you also have to realize there are many types of bronchitis, where if you come down with bronchitis, you have to make sure you'll have to extend your quarantine period, because you can't be around people when you have bronchitis. Like for me, I had one type of bronchitis, but this was many years ago, which was called asthmatic bronchitis, which left me behind with asthma. Now, I had a light case of asthma at that time, but I still had asthma, but I was able to breathe normally. Now, other things that you also have to know too about the face masks. Yes, I know people are all getting tired of wearing the masks. Hey, I'm even tired of wearing. I'm wearing them too. I'm getting tired of wearing them too. But if you want to have to avoid wearing masks, go to places like restaurants and outside events and stores that do not require a mask if you don't want to have to wear one, and concentrate more on those places than going to places such as Walmart or just any place that requires a mask that you see a mask sign, or some special events. Say like, for example, Pensacon over in Pensacola, they'll be requiring to wear a mask, which I will respect those rules, and I will wear the mask during that time. But when I'm leaving, the mask comes off, and then from there, then it's fine. I'll go to wherever a mask is required and wear a mask. Now, you also have to realize too, you might want to consider this. I was a nurse at one time, and we had to constantly change out masks every 15 minutes, because what will happen is that the mask will build up bacteria. And bacteria is just as bad as a virus. So if you have any fabric masks that you're wearing, you might want to pack at least 2 or 3 and change out. Like for me at work, I take 2 masks with me to work, and I change them out every 4 hours. For the first 4 hours that I'm wearing it, I'll wear my first 4 hours of masks, go to my mask. Then when I go out to my truck and eat my lunch on my lunch period, and change out the mask to a new one. And the fabric masks are washable. You can just throw them in the washing machine with bleach or whatever, and wash them and dry them on high heat. Because what will happen is that you have to realize too, high heat will kills viruses, where bacteria flourishes in the heat, and viruses die in the heat. Now, when the cold comes around, bacteria diminishes, but bacteria diminishes during the cold, and viruses thrive in the cold. You have to remember that, especially during during this crazy time, which I like to call the craziness. I don't like using that P word, pandemic, because most people are uncomfortable, and there's even been some people that have made fun of the virus too. And yeah, I was still skeptical at the time, though, even though after they told me I had it. But it was a miserable time. And another thing to also to consider or to do while you're in your quarantine, after everything's said and done, if you feel comfortable to come forward and leave your details and your story during your time, I would highly suggest it, because people do not know the don't know what to expect during the virus, or what they'll come down with or so. So my suggestion would be to come forward, and just for those who are not